This is Nornagest from Enthroned, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Brutally Delicious!
So before we get into this one, I was just listening to a Canadian band. Where are you on the Cancer Bats? You ever listen to them?
They're from Vancouver, are they not?
I know, somewhere up north. Great Canadian band.
I've heard of them. I'm pretty sure they're from Vancouver. Let me just check.
Sort of punky, sort of. They never got the.
Oh no, they're from Toronto.
They never got the, I think, the recognition they deserve because, I mean, they play a lot of festivals and stuff, and they do well overseas. But I saw them here like last year, or the year before, and there were literally 3 people on a Tuesday night.
Wow.
And they put on the same show, and they were amazing. But it was like me and 3 other people.
That sucks. Where was that at?
Just a little place in town in Richmond here called Strange Manor. I mean, it's probably like not a huge place, like maybe 250, 300, but 3. And I know it was a Tuesday night. It was freezing cold, but still, that's sad representation. And I can't imagine they made even enough gas money to get to the next place.
Oh, probably not. No. I wonder who they're with. What label?
They used to be on Metal Blade. I don't know where they are now.
Yeah, it doesn't say here. But
yeah, you should check them out if you're not familiar.
They played a lot in Vancouver. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They won they won a lot of Juno Awards.
Yeah, one of the good exports from the Great White North. Hey,
yeah, they were nominated for New Group of the Year, Rock Album of the Year, Metal Hard Rock Album of the Year. Yeah, they've been nominated for Junos a lot, which is like the Canadian Grammy.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig them a lot. Check them out when you get a chance.
I will. It's awesome.
Anyway, so we're about to head down a dark path here with Enthroned. Have you listened to any of this?
I have a little bit when we were supposed to do it, but not since.
Yeah.
It wasn't really my thing, but...
It's very dark. We're going all over the map on this podcast, so...
Here, is Silent Redemption a good song?
Yeah, but I was just listening to the new record. I don't know. I don't even know if it's out yet. Let me see what I got it as an advance.
Oh, I see.
It's called Cold Black Suns with an S, sorry. And it is heavy as shit.
Cold Black Suns?
Yeah.
Let me just...
Heavy and old and even like, super dark.
Yeah, and they've been around since like, what, 93?
Yeah, so I was reading, this is record 11 on Seasons of Mist, so they've done quite a bit. A lot of touring. I think, and I could be wrong, I think they were on one of the boats.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they were on in 2015.
So when did I go? Last year was 18? Last year was 19. So I was not there in 15. I didn't see them. Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I'm Bruce.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to head down the dark, twisty path and speak with Nornagest, vocalist from the Belgium black metal band Enthroned. Hey, nice to meet you, man. This is my buddy Chris, partner.
How you doing?
Okay. Recovering a bit from the weekend. Got
Rough
quite
weekend?
intense. Yeah, we had a release show for the new album.
Oh, and, nice.
We had quite a big celebration and lasted 2 days. So you know what I'm saying.
Was it there in Belgium?
Yeah. Throne Fest. So we had other guests there like Watain, Satyricon.
Nice.
Shining, like quite a few good friends and bands. So yeah.
Are you guys doing a lot of the festival circuit this year?
Not so much. The album just came out a few days ago. So most of the festivals will be for next year, and as well for 2021. So this year it's quite calm. We focus more on the tour, and that's coming up end of the year, beginning of next year, and booking some new dates, etc. That's quite a lot of work.
Yeah.
So what do you do between now and then to stay fresh? I mean, you guys rehearse a lot, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, we rehearse twice a week when we have the concert coming up. Else, we work on each other in our corner just before we just meet up at the rehearsal place,
Okay. So I know that you've been at this for a long time. Do you do anything special now to prepare for the road? Because we're all getting a bit older and touring definitely takes its toll on you, right?
You really have to remind me that. Yeah, really?
Listen, I'm in the same boat as you, though, so don't worry.
Yeah. So, well, try to stay fit, doing a bit of gym, watch out a bit what we eat. It fails miserably when we are doing gigs, with the beer, the whiskey, and all that stuff. But right. in between, we do what we can. Right. Try to stay fresh. I personally go a lot for walks in nature, and really be careful with what I put in my body. So
yeah, for me, my weakness is pizza and beer. So maybe not the whiskey, but it's hard to stay away from the pizza and the beer. Good Guinness or something nice and dark.
I'm a whiskey guy, So yeah, and Belgian beers, of course. But yeah, except from that, water all the way and fruit juice, but mostly whiskey. When I have to drink a bit more, festive. Let's say.
What kind of whiskey are you drinking?
St. Andrews, or when you are at the concert, or Jack Daniels or Jim Beam.
Cool.
But someone appreciate it at home, mostly St. Andrews or Loch Lomond, pure Scotch. Yeah.
My son has gotten into Glenfiddich. Is that something you guys get over there?
Yeah, it's not bad. I got a bottle of 25 years old. It's pretty good.
I don't know. I wouldn't know the difference between that and Jim Beam. My taste buds are not that sophisticated.
No, shame on you.
I don't understand Scotch either. I always tell people if I wanted to drink gasoline, I would.
Oh my God.
But then again, I drink American light beer, so what kind of pussy am I?
I feel sorry for you, man.
I do too. So tell us about the record. I mean, now that it's out and you put all your heart and soul into it, how do you feel about it? And are you satisfied with the outcome?
Yeah, the responses have been quite tremendous. We expected actually more critics because the album is quite different from what we used to do.
Right.
Well, we still recognize the Enthroned touch here and there on the overall thing, but it's quite a different album. So we expected a lot of critics. It's not an easy album, not easy listening album, sorry. But honestly, I'm quite astonished by the reactions, the reviews, and especially at the release show here. So it was the first time 2 days ago that we were performing the new songs, the new set, and everything. And the amount of people came to us after the show and told us they were crazy about the album and the new songs are amazing. So it was a good surprise. I didn't expect people to tell us it was a shitty album, of course. Right. I hope not. But most people are coming wow, and it's really astonishing, to be honest. So, and personally, I'm really satisfied. Everybody in the band is really satisfied with the album. It was our baby that we were nurturing for 5 years.
Wow.
Of course, we took a risk exploring other corners of our creativity, but that's what we wanted to do. And I think that's a principle. And having that kind of reaction, it's even more satisfying.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So when I was listening to it, prepping for this thing, you start with that intro there, but that first song comes out of the box and it's so damn heavy, so Bathory-esque kind of thing. Is that what you were sort of going for, to just knock them right out of the box?
You're talking about the intro of Fusa?
No, right after it. That I'm trying to think of what that first song. Yeah.
Bathory? Are you serious? Because that's kind of way faster than Bathory, to be honest. But, no, we didn't have the Bathory in mind one bit when we composed that song. Not at all. We just, went for it. And that's what came out.
It just knocks it right out of the box. You're like, holy shit, we're here and we've got a statement.
Well, yeah, we're here. We're back. We come here to nail it. I don't know. But when we are in the composition process, we attempted to stay away from any external influences. We just want to write something, have ideas around the riff, and that's it. We're not the kind of musician that sit down like, oh, let's do something like that band or like that artist. No, no, we just we should put something on that. What do you see? What do you hear? When you hear that riff? And I would say that, and then we ask the drummer, like, what do you put on that? I would put that, and then you see, that's how it goes.
And then it's just a pure Enthroned record.
Yeah, I guess we do what comes out of our guts, and that's it. As long as we are satisfied with the end result, I think that's all what matters.
Nice. So, how was the recording process for the record?
Well, that was a bit more complicated than usual. We recorded all the instruments in Portugal. Our drummer had a friend there who just had quite a small studio, but he had quite an interesting approach to record guitars. So we were there. Let's try that. Like a mix of analog and digital. So a mix of the actual modern techniques, like most bands used, and the same technique as you would have had in the 80s. So it was like, why not?
So you're saying you're using amp modelers and amps at the same time?
Exactly.
Oh wow, we're using the Kemper profiler or Axe Effects.
Yeah, exactly Kemper, perfect, exactly that. Plus analog recording. Looks like on the old tapes, like in the 80s, the same, exactly the same. We did a mix of the two to get a specific sound on the guitars and the bass guitar, and work around with our own touch, this and that. Not gonna unveil all the secrets of the recording either.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. I'm a recording engineer, so I'm always curious.
That was something different. That was definitely something different. All the pre-production was done at our drummer's place, and I recorded the vocals in Blackout Studio in Brussels, Belgium.
Okay.
And part of the mix was done in Brussels. The rest of the mix and mastering was done at Oregon Studio in the UK. They did Ghost, Primordial, Paradise Lost, Grave Miasma, and that kind of band. So it was a kind of we traveled a lot for that for that record. Yeah. So it was an interesting process of recording. We saw a lot of different places, and it was a good thing to clear your mind in between sessions.
Oh, I bet. Makes sense. Yeah. So when you were writing the record, were you guys all together in the same room, or were you using more modern technology?
Well, a mix of both again. Once more, like I did the vocals separately. That's a fact. I couldn't record my vocals in Brussels and the guys being in Portugal. Yeah. So, well, the drums was recorded separately, the guitars together, the vocals separately. Then the mix. It was a bit of a mix of both. We wanted to explore both worlds and put everything in one piece. So. Nice. That's kind of a different approach, I guess.
Okay, and just so you know, I'm kind of new to metal, so doing this podcast for me is really about discovering new bands that I haven't heard of before. And
wait a minute, excuse me to interrupt, but that you're not into metal.
No, I am.
You're new to it, so that's why you drink Bud Light.
Yes, thank you very much. Right,
it's Miller Lite.
You just give me the whip.
No, go for it. I encourage that the rest of the interview. Hit him.
Trust me, I drank that boat dry. I see in 2015. So what got me into metal was going on the first 70,000 tons of metal cruise.
All right.
Yeah, and I see that you guys were on that cruise on a year that I was on, but I don't remember if you were. Did you actually play on that cruise?
Yeah, twice.
Twice. Which years?
Yeah. But you were probably at the bar during some Bud Light. I don't
know. Yeah.
So I see you're on in 2015. What stage did you play?
Well. We did one show, and I don't know. I don't remember the names of the stage, but it was like the second smallest The one,
like the theater,
like the hockey rink.
And yeah, that's it. And the second one was in the big one, indoor.
Oh, in the theater.
On the way back. Yeah, probably. It's like a theater or something.
Yeah.
So, so that was like a hockey thing, normally with a bar, and the other one like a theater. I don't know. So I was not familiar really with the names of the venues. They just told us you're there.
Yeah, they just come get you and off you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
How was your experience on the boat?
Well, for a European black metal band, that's kind of unreal, like surreal to me, especially if somebody would have told me 95, you're going to play in Jamaica, in the Caribbean. Okay, all right. On a cruise. All right. Yeah. While you play, some dudes are going to be in the bathtub. Yeah, right. What kind of drugs are you on? And actually, that's what happened. So that was kind of surreal. But all in all, it was a good experience, interesting experience. I wouldn't mind to redo it, to be honest. So we'll see that for 2021, as most of the bands for next year's editions are already booked. So we'll see. But that was definitely a very interesting experience.
Yeah. How did you get involved with 70,000 Tons of Metal? Did Andy reach out to you or your booking agent?
Yeah, they contacted our booking agency, and the rest is history. So we just flew there and played.
That's awesome. That festival changed my life. I will never forget in 2011, the first time I went on it. No one had ever done anything like that in North America. And honestly, I didn't even know anything about metal at all. And I just went because Andy is a friend of mine. So I was like, I'll go support him and see what it's like. And my God, I don't know if I've ever drank that much in my life. And it's been the same every other time I go.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Especially on that boat.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yes.
It's easy to spend a lot of money on that boat, man. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Now the casino is a dangerous place.
Yeah, it definitely is. So out of all the festivals that you've played, so I assume you guys have played Wacken, or how do you say it? Wacken or Wacken?
Wacken.
Wacken.
Yeah. And we actually didn't play there. There was an issue between the organizers and our previous management. So I hope now we can fix that. So they had personal issues regarding Enthroned, like they asked to book the band, and the manager did something wrong, let's say. That the management wanted more money or something like that for themselves, without the band knowing about it. So we were quite pissed, and we just decided to change management after that.
I bet.
I imagine so.
Yeah. So we hope in the future that kind of thing will be solved, because hopefully there were no other experiences like that one that occurred. So, yeah, we did most of the other festivals, though. So.
Yeah, like for me, living in, I'm originally from the west coast of Canada, but I now live in Virginia, in D.C., in the D.C. area. I look at the European metal festival circuit, and it's something I've always wanted to go do ever since I've gotten into metal. Just, it's like the metal fans, there's such a camaraderie between them.
Yeah, but for example, Wacken is not what it used to be, in my own opinion. It's an okay festival probably nowadays. I haven't been there for the past 15 years probably, because it's absolutely not what it used to be. If you want a really, really good, big metal fest in Europe, go to Hellfest, for example. The Hellfest is wow.
I heard Hellfest is amazing.
That's the one.
That's the one. And or Partisan, that kind of festival. Those ones are just awesome.
I hope one day to make it over there and do that. That's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's an experience, definitely.
So I've got one for you. Traditionally, black metal or traditional black metal is mostly like a Eastern European thing, or kind of over there. What are your thoughts now, especially with like the movie with Lords of Chaos, about it being brought more into the forefront and becoming more, I dare say, popular? I know that's good for your sales, but what are your thoughts about the the movement in general. Does that make sense?
Absolutely not. To me, it goes against everything black metal stands for, or let's say stood for. It brings black metal in a light that is not reality, let's say. It's not how it is. When you know what really happened in Norway in those days, that story that movie covers,
right?
It's really was rearranged to make it more appealing to the public and makes people look like idiots or like teenagers who are looking for their own kind of identity. Which is that you have a lot nowadays in black metal, sure, but in those days it was absolutely not like that.
Right.
So it gives a wrong image, let's say.
Because it's becoming more accepted, and I don't want to say mainstream, but I mean there are definitely more people walking around with, more black metal shirts than in the past, and so it's like sort of coming out of the shadows. And I don't necessarily know if that's good or bad as far as a purist like yourself.
Well, it's it has a bit of both worlds. It's really positive when it comes to promotion and sales, if you want to say it that way, to play better venues or better conditions or whatever you want to call it, But it's pretty negative on a point that it gives really a wrong image of what it is. People will imagine that black metal is another musical current. Where people dress like Kiss or something like that, which is absolutely not the case.
Right.
Black metal is a serious thing. It was always a movement apart with a, let's say, religious message behind it, which is extremely serious and can engender violence in some cases, because most of the people who stood behind that message are not people you fuck with.
Right. Right.
And we're not talking about getting a slap in your face, if you see what I mean.
Right.
So it brings everything in the wrong perspective. But promotion-wise, for bands and etc., for accessibility for fans to access records and merchandise and everything. Okay, there we agree that it's a good thing.
Is it hard to reconcile the two, because they're very different? You need to make money to continue and you want to play the better venues, but it kind of goes against what the whole genre is about. Is it hard to kind of reconcile those two, or no?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a bit like being in a relationship. You have to make compromises. So, but at least we don't have to sell the corpse of those people we massacred because they were annoying us anymore. So we can go in legal business now. No, but seriously, it's really hard to make it work with both worlds, but we have to make concessions, maybe from one side to the other. The more underground aspect of the black metal scene, like the more accessible one. So it's a really complex thing to deal with, especially this movement.
So outside of black metal, what are you listening to? What would I find top 3 songs on your iPod or cell phone or whatever you got going on?
Oh, man, you asked the wrong person. I'm a really eclectic guy.
That's what we want.
Everything. So, I mean, there are two kinds of music. The one I like, the one I don't like. The rest, bring it on. I listen to a lot of world music, traditional music from Egypt or from India.
Nice.
Or things like that. But as well, some CCR, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Sisters of Mercy,
Okay.
Wardruna. I don't know. I listen to from the moment I like something, You know.
That's awesome.
And depending on my mood, sometimes like if I wake up and I'm still a bit hangover or like a bit like a bit fuzzy in the morning, I will put an album of Pain, that side project from that guy from Hypocrisy, for Peter Dicton, which is more electronic and everything. That will give me a boost in the morning. That's it. I don't know. I know when Chris, he's getting ready for the podcast, he's drinking Miller Lite and listening to Britney Spears. So I guess whatever you're into. There's a band I can recommend you Chris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby metal, maybe for you to start with your first life.
Come on.
It didn't take him long to find the weak link in this conversation, Chris.
Yeah, the weak link is me. I should have never admitted to drinking light beer.
That
Can
was
bring
your
you a baby metal record while your partner here can listen to the new Funeral Mist and Marduk albums.
There you go. Anything else, Chris?
No, I'm good. I really enjoyed this. It was really informative for me.
Okay, that's good.
You are the man. I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with the record, and hopefully we'll catch you some on tour somewhere.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care.
You well. Thank
All
you.
right, cheers.
Bye.
Bye. What a nice guy.
I think he was a great guy that's quite informative, and the record is heavy as hell.
I really found it interesting the way he talked about black metal. You know, where he was just like, we need to make money doing this, but it feels a bit immoral. Kind of, I that's kind of what I picked up from him.
Yeah, so I'm not the black metal enthusiast that a lot of people are, but I know what I've read and seen and, talked to people like him, and they always have that conflict because I think I'm not the expert, so just quotation marks, black metal is supposed to be in the underground.
Yeah, like when we talked
it never was. Yeah, it never was supposed to make it out of the basement. It was kind of a thing. And now that it's, they're on 70,000 tons in Jamaica playing to all these people that never heard black metal, there's a conflict there.
Yeah, it must be kind of strange. But, you want to make money doing what you love.
Right. I mean, it's your art. You want to make some cash doing it. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you have your choice to play guitar or
be a plumber.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Right.
So, but still, you have that moral, because I find artists tend to have a lot stricter, like a more strict moral code in terms of what they're willing to sacrifice in terms of what they want. And I assume when they started this, they were all pretty young and, it's like, how are we going to do this? And they're like, oh, we're going to be just like this black metal band. We don't want to do anything else. So I imagine it's morally kind of a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. But all in all, I think that was a great interview. And I love that we're all over the map with this podcast. I mean, we're speaking to all kinds of people.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. And who was that band that we interviewed, the other black metal band, Oculum Day?
Yeah, from North Carolina.
Yeah. Who was that guy? What was his name again?
Josh.
Yeah. And he was saying the same thing that he was. He was just like, it's supposed to be kind of underground and, just for you and your friends and nothing more.
But at the same time, you still need gear and amps and recording money and whatever. So you've got to make something.
Yeah. Touring money. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a deal with the devil or how that works out, how you make black metal, it could be a deal with the devil, I guess, right? Who knows?
Yeah, I guess. The only thing I didn't really understand what he was talking about was the roots of, you guys were talking about some black metal film.
Yeah. So Lords of Chaos, if you have not seen it, go look it up. I saw it in the theaters a couple months ago. It's probably out on somewhere. It's supposedly a rockumentary. So it's actors about are you familiar with the Norwegian early black metal where there was some murders, there were some church burnings, reports of cannibalism? You need to look at that. You know what? Also, so look at that movie, and there's another black metal movie you can find on YouTube called Before the Light Takes Us. It's a whole different culture and thing, dude. And so Lords of Chaos was supposedly a rockumentary about the scene, and it's got mixed reviews. Like the people who know or who lived it say it's nothing like it was, and then others say whatever. So I don't know how to. It's a great movie, and I think it maybe does damage to the genre because it brings everything to the light.
Oh yeah.
But I met a guy on the boat who was a photographer for one of the European metal magazines, and we got into a conversation on the beach in Haiti. It was me, Denise, my wife, and him sitting on like a blanket drinking umbrella drinks, and he was one of the guys that was in the scene at this record store, which was the epicenter of that movie. And I mean, he was telling me horrific stories of what really went on.
Wow.
Check out those movies. I know when your wife's away or traveling, pop one of those movies in, because it's eye-opening for sure. And it's a whole, when he said, these are the guys you don't want to fuck with, he wasn't kidding. I mean, some of these guys are super violent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
But it all started like in Norway and the Eastern European countries there, in cold, dark countries.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I didn't know that about black metal before. I just thought, he didn't seem that way. He seemed like a totally normal dude.
No, and neither did Josh. And, we've talked to, like I said, I know many people like that, but I think it's more of an ideology than a music style, if that actually means anything.
Yeah, it does.
And again, I'm like the uneducated. I like it just to listen to it. I have nothing to do with ideologies at all. If it sounds good to me, I'm putting it on, and that's that.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I know we said we also said we want to tell people how to subscribe. So go to follow the link at the bottom of the screen in the upper right hand corner. Hit the subscribe button. We've got some contests coming up. Encourage you to send us some emails. Talk to us. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us that we're a bunch of assholes. Tell us whatever you want to tell us.
And don't make fun of me for drinking light beer.
Drinking light beer, and I think there was a Britney Spears reference.
Hey.
And baby metal. He had, what a great sense of humor that guy had. I was like, yes, he's right in there.
Baby metal.
All right, cool, man. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening. Again, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a message. Share this everywhere. Let's make this crap go viral.
All right.